Welcome to our Chapter 2.6 Part C lesson video. We're going to talk about writing parabolas in circles in a standard form today. This is going to require a skill from before called completing the square. If you don't remember, completing the square is where you take the b value, you divide by 2, and you square it. So knowing that is going to be an important part of our lesson today. If you don't have your notebook out already, I would take it out now so that way you can take some good notes. Let's go ahead and begin. Chapter 2.6c, we're doing characteristics of quadratic functions, and this is this last part where we're going to rewrite equations. We're going to rewrite our equations into vertex form so that way we can more easily graph them. Okay, so we're going to start with writing a parabola in vertex form. I'm going to walk through the steps first, and then I'm going to demonstrate on this example. So put the x squared variable and its matching term on the left side, move everything else to the right side. Factor out any common coefficients from the x side, and complete the square by taking the b value divided by 2 squared to both sides of the equation. Factor the perfect square on the left. Find the greatest common factor of the y side and divide on both sides. Add or subtract any constants left over. So it's a little bit of a process. We're going to go ahead and walk through it right now. And if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me. But this should be something that you can hopefully figure out with a little bit of practice. All right, so first things first, we're going to leave the x stuff on one side and move the y and the other stuff to the other. So that's going to leave us with x squared plus 8x equals negative 2y plus 18. Let's say minus 18. All right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to complete the square. To complete the square, what we have to do is we have to take our b value from the left side, that's the number in front of the x. We're going to take our 8, and we're going to divide by 2 and square it. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 squared is 16, so I'm going to add a 16 right here. But anything I do to this left side of the equation to keep it balanced, I have to do to the right side as well. All right, so now that left side should factor quite nicely. So that's going to factor to be x plus 4 times x plus 4, which is x plus 4 squared. This is going to equal negative 2y minus 2. On this left side now we can pull out a common factor. So we're going to pull out a negative 2, and we'll get y plus 1 left over. And then we still have our x plus 4 squared. We're now going to divide the negative 2 over. Now, the way we're going to write that is as a negative 1/2 x plus 4 squared. And once that negative 2 is over on the other side, we're also going to subtract the 1 over. So minus 1. And all of this is going to be equal to y. Now, you might want to rewrite it so it looks a little nicer to you. But our final answer is y equals negative 1/2, our a value, x plus 4 squared minus 1, and this is in vertex form, which we could now graph. All right, we're going to do a couple more examples here because there's a couple different variations. This one's a little like a medium level one. We'll do an easy one, and we'll do a hard one as well. All right, so let's look at this first example here on the left side. So first things we're going to do is move the y and the constant over to the other side. So we get x squared minus 12x equals y minus 46. We're going to take our b value, negative 12. We're going to divide by 2, and we're going to square. So that's 6 squared is 36. We're going to add 36 to both sides. Remember, you got to add it to both sides. That's the hardest thing that people always seem to forget, is to add it to both sides. The left side now factors to be x minus 6 times x minus 6, or x minus 6 squared, equals, the right side is y minus 10. Well, this one we don't have a common factor on this right side, so this is our little bit easier one. So we just have to add that 10 over, and we get a final answer of y equals x minus 6 in parentheses squared plus 10, and we're ready to graph that in vertex form. All right, our last one's a little bit tricky for a different reason than the first one. Let's start off the same way, move the y and the constant over to the other side. 2x squared minus 8x equals y minus 9. On the left side, we're going to go ahead and pull out the common factor there. So we're going to pull out the 2x squared minus 4x, leave a little space there for completing the square, equals y plus, not plus, y minus 9. All right, now here's the deal. We can complete the square inside the parentheses. The reason we pulled this factor out is because you can't complete the square when your a value isn't 1. So you pull it out, and you can now complete the square in here. So you do the same completing the square thing as before, -4 divided by 2, and you square it. So that's -2 squared is 4. So I'm going to add 4 right here. But remember, this is really 2 times 4. So I'm not going to add 4 to the right side. Instead of adding 4, I'm going to add 2 times 4, which is 8. When I add this 4 right here, it's really a 2 times 4, and so I need to add double 4 or 8 to the other side. All right, our left side should now factor, so we have 2 times x minus 2 in parentheses squared, because it was x minus 2 times x minus 2, equals y minus 1. And then to finish this off, we're going to add the 1 to the other side, so we get y equals 2 times x minus 2 squared plus 1, and we are now ready to graph. So this one's a little trickier like the first one, but it should be something that with a little bit of practice you should be able to do. We can use this same completing the square method in order to help us write a circle in standard form. So this one, it's just going to end up being something that we do twice. We do it for the x squared and we do it for the y squared in order to write our circle in what's called circles standard forms. That way we can find the center and the vertex. So our steps go like this. We move all the variables to one side and the constants to the other. So we'll keep all the variables on one side and move the constant to the other. We're going to move our x's to be grouped together and move our y's to be grouped together. We'll complete the square for the x values. We'll complete the square for the y values. So we're going to complete the square twice. That's the b divided by 2 squared thing. And we make sure we add it to both sides. So on the left side, we'll add something to the x squared. We'll add something to the y squared part. And on the other side, the constant side, we're going to add 2 things. We're going to factor both to create our circle in standard form equation like this. So let's go ahead, let's rearrange this problem right here. So we're going to rearrange it so it's x squared plus 4x, and I'm going to leave a little bit of room, plus y squared minus 6y, and I'm going to leave a little bit of room, and then is equal to, I'm going to put a minus 2 on the other side to subtract it over. All right, I'm then going to complete the square twice. So I'm going to do 4 divided by 2 squared, and I'm going to do -6 divided by 2 squared. 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 squared is 4, so I'm going to add 4 right here to complete that square. I'll also add it to the other side. And then -6 divided by 2 is -3, -3 squared is 9, so I'm going to add 9 right here and also add it to this side as well. So that's 13 minus 2 on my right-hand side. 13 minus 2 is 11. On my left-hand side, I'm going to factor both those. So I get x squared plus 4x plus 4 becomes x plus 2 in parentheses squared, plus y squared minus 6y plus 9, that's going to be y, make sure you put a y, minus 3 in parentheses squared. This is our equation of our circle. We can find the center and the radius now and graph that circle if we need. With that, I think you have enough information to be able to get started on your next assignment. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Otherwise, I'll see you in our next live session.